Greetings and salutations, Solo Guy here with an unboxing of Catalyst Labs BattleTech Beginner Box. I have to do a quick thing here. I played BattleTech many years ago when FOSSA was around, and the largest event I was involved in, there were about 15 to 20 people, and we were playing 60 mechs on each side in one long table fight. We only got through about 2 to 3 turns, I think, by the time we had to call it. That was something. So over time I sold off my stuff or gave it away or whatever. My son is older now, so I thought maybe I'd give it a try with this. And for $19.99, I don't think you can really argue about that. So on the back, it gives you a little bit of a background about the deployment in 3, 2, 1, and it gives you a quick picture of some of the components that you guys are going to get with this. So the contents, you get 2 plastic mechs, you get a 18 by 22 map. Okay, you get some extra mechs that are cardboard that you can use. You also get record sheets for the individual mechs themselves. You get some pilot cards. You get a little miniature novel in there as well. You get some 6-sided dice. You get some extra terrain here, and of course a little quick guide for, you know, what's the inner sphere all about, and then of course the quick start rules. So let's crack this open, shall we? Very shiny. So if we can get this box open. Ooh. Wow. Dice. Wow. This is literally meant to be completely self-contained. If you never bought another set of BattleTech ever again, you're set with this. So let's go ahead. Let's just take out the parts here. Nice. A lot easier to pop it out this way, right? Okay, let's take a look at the parts, shall we? So for this here, this is a little novella, okay? About $29.90, I guess. So this, I believe, would be taking place during the Succession Wars. Okay, and it shows you some of the other mechs that are out there. Okay, Colby's Commandos Mission. So perhaps there are more books out there. William H. Keith, the name does sound familiar. All right. Wow. 2 dice. Okay. Oh, let's look at these sheets here. Now remember, the thing about this is that, you know, it's got everything you need to play literally right out of the box. Okay. It's pretty thin paper, but that's okay. You could always put these in sheet protectors, and then you could use that. That's your record sheets for your pieces. It also gives you your information, the points for walking, running, jumping, your tons, your class, the weapons that you have, where's the location, the damage, how many shots, short, medium, long range to hit numbers. Sorry, it's been a while. This is interesting because then right here you got the location chart. And again, it's a 2d6 experience. So yes, rolling those boxcars, it's a headshot. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. But this is for the Locust. Now, in the years since I've played this, I know that they've had to change because of legal issues. They've had to change the pictures of the Locust. Okay? And what's kind of cool is that they give you a little bit of information, a little background information on the Locust. So that's cool. That was the Locust 1V. This is the Locust 1E. Okay. And it gives you a little bit of cool art work for the BattleTech universe. Okay. We have a Griffin. Okay. Griffins are cool. And again, it's arranged the exact same way, and you'd say, hey, there's more of those circles, those points, for the Griffin than there was for the Locust. Well, that's because the Griffin is a larger mech than the Locust, and it gives you some background again for the Griffin. That'll be interesting reading. Okay, here's another one for the Griffin, and ooh, here on the back. So this is giving a picture, I believe, of the throne room of one of the 5 successor houses. The one with the raised fist, that's Steiner, House Steiner. Back then in the BattleTech days, I was a House Steiner fan myself. This is a Wolverine. Okay. And again, it talks about, background of the Wolverine, what you can do with that. Okay, here's another one. Now, you'd say, wait, are they giving 2 of the exact same mech? No, it's a slight variation. So that's kind of cool because it also depends on what you're interested in. And then this gives some of the nice artwork that you've got there. Here's the Thunderbolt. Okay, how many tons is that bad boy? Yeah, 65 tons. So it's going to take some more punishment than the 55 ton of the Griffin. Okay, the Wolverine's similar to the Griffin. Again, it gives a little bit more of a background. And then here's another one. Except this time the background here. This is a Thunderbolt in combat, and ooh, what happens when you lose an arm? Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not. Now, for that, you also have these cards. Now, these are different pilots and their capability, like what unit they belong to, what affiliation. It also talks about what specialties they have. They give a little bit of a background. Whoops. This gives a little bit more background for these. So you got something from House Lau, Steiner, Karita, Davian. Okay, you've got the Lau, Mercenary, Karita, and Davian again. And of course they have points, so the idea is that with these guys, if you were to go and build up your own force, you can pick a certain pilot and they have certain skills, which that's kind of cool. Okay. This is a one-sheet map. Fairly standard. So you have here kind of like a Martian world type map. You've got different terrain. It also describes what kind of terrain. Is it heavy or light? How does that affect combat? How does that affect movement here? And on the other side here, this kind of sort of looks like a hill or a valley. I don't know. We'll see as the rules go along. Like I said, it's been a while since, been many years since I've played actually. But I'm hoping maybe I can get my son into it. And like I said, you know, for $20, it's not a big deal. Okay. So on here, you have an instant guide to the inner sphere. And wow, nice colorful map that gives you an idea. The center being Terra, aka Earth, if you're not familiar with it. So man has been reaching out to the stars here, and so you got the symbols of the different houses. There's Lau, Merrick, Steiner, Karita, and Davian, and they all battled each other. So of course, if you want to continue on in BattleTech, they do give you a little insert here about the metal that they have for the mechs. Okay, and I have been a fan of metals, but if you watched my other videos, I've worked with both metals and plastic. There's pluses and minuses to both sides. So here's a cardboard cutout here of other mechs, and you know, if you want to go look at that, that's actually fairly thick cardboard. Okay, so you have the front and back sides of different mechs. You do have some terrain layover hex tiles as well. These mechs, you can take the little stand underneath and prop them up, so you can actually play with up to 10 mechs on the table. Okay, wow, for 20 bucks, that's not bad. It really isn't. And if you're on a budget, okay. Moving on. So here we have the BattleTech Beginner Box Quick Start Rules. See what we got here. So it gives you the quick sequence of play, movement, standing still, walking, running, jumping. So it shows you movement basics, where you got diagrams, what you can do, what you can't do. All right, movement dice. The facing, that does make a difference in BattleTech, because you can be facing the wrong way and you get hit in the back, and that's not good. That hurts a lot. Okay, it talks about movement cost, and then it talks a little bit about, they mentioned about stacking, combat, weapon attack phase. So it talks about like line of sight and intervening terrain, intervening mechs, things like that, how to handle that, weapons attacks, a firing arc, okay, firing weapons, making the attack, base target number modifiers, and then attacker movement modifier. And again, it goes into detail here. I don't know what the gator is. I'll have to check that out. Target's movement modifier, terrain modifier, range modifier. So there's a bunch of things here. And that's not too bad. Once, you know, if you play a one-on-one and then just work with it, take the smaller mechs like the 2 locusts, you play on the map, and then you just go at it. Okay, so here it gives you a diagram of movement, and then targeting, the attacker modifiers table, okay, then rolling to hit location. That's where you got that 2d6 table coming in, and you got it for every mech on their sheets. Here, cluster hits table, so it depends on what your weapon size is, okay, and you roll a 2d6. Recording damage. Okay. So then, of course, talks about damage resolution, destroying a mech. Yeah, they can go out rather spectacularly. I do remember those critical ammo hits. But anyways, this is supposed to be the quick start rules to get you up and going. All right, so I think they're only dealing with the external. I think they're only dealing with the external hits. So, and you know what? For a beginner thing like this, that will work. Again, they talk about mech data, and here you go. You got you got scenarios here. So you got a scenario. There you got the desert map, and then it tells you about deployment, the setup. Okay. Talk a little bit about the terrain, and then of course beyond the quick start rules, where they give you the extra things like heat, piloting skill, critical hits, things like that. But that's only if you really want to advance into this. Okay, which for some people they would want to. Some people they may very well be happy with just this, and you just look at the external armor, and that's the end of it. And then here it talks about, it's just a quick table for everything. And of course you're wondering, all right, so look, you've been delaying this, man. What are the mechs looking like? Well, here you go. So this one right here, this is the Wolverine. Now, you've got a black hex base there. What some guys have done, the ones that really got into BattleTech, that they would go and cut it at the torso, and then they would make it that the top half of the mech moves. Okay, so there's the Wolverine. And again, you could easily paint this up. This wouldn't be hard. And here's the Griffin. Okay. And again, BattleTech has a very large universe. It's not just, hey, it just got here. No, it's been around for a long, long time. But the fact is that they are making the comeback, and they have realized that today's gamers, maybe they need something affordable that they could get into instead of spending, 50 or 60 bucks on a starter set, which there are starter sets out there that will do that. BattleTech does have another kit. At this point, I don't think I would be getting into it. I think I'd be okay with this for the time being, just to teach my son and see if this will capture his fancy or not. For 20 bucks, I didn't think it was a big deal. But you got mechs, you got a novel, the obligatory dice, which, okay. Beginner box, quick start rules. So you got the cardboard, so you can have, in theory, up to 10 mechs on the battlefield. And that would be the equivalent of 2 lances. Obligatory advertisement for the miniatures, that's fine. Okay, instant guide to the inner sphere. Talk about the battle mechs and all that. You got your map sheet. You got your Mech Warrior cards. And then you got these sheets. Again, it's kind of nice is that these sheets are all ready to go. To make it simple, the gunnery skill is all the same if you've been familiar with the system. Okay, so their ability to hit effectively is the same. And then at this point, you're just looking at what's happening with the armor. Damage transfers, so once all these dots have been crossed off, then the damage starts to go into the torso here. And then once the torso is gone, if there's still an arm attached to it, guess what? That falls off. And then it goes into the center torso here. Of course, it really stinks if you get the hits to the head and you get your head cleanly shot off with, whether it's a laser or long-range missile, whatever weapons that they have here. I do remember those days. Okay, but this would take place about the time before what were known as the clans came in. That was like about, oh wow, 30 years ago. I can't believe it. All right. Hey, for 20 bucks, you can't go wrong on this. I'm going to have some fun with it. One could probably even come up with some solo rules like if-then type conditions, and you can go at it. So, I hope this benefited you guys. You take care and God bless.